my name is Sydney Wein. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a residence hall director in Husky Village. I've been working at UConn for 4 years. A typical day for me as a hall director would be meeting regularly with students, whether those are conduct meetings, meeting with house managers, so folks who are student leaders in Husky Village, RAs, and completing committee tasks, one-on-ones with my supervisor, and area meetings, so staff meeting with the other hall directors on my team and my supervisor. So in my position working with Fraternity, Sorority Life, so Center for Fraternity and Sorority Development, CFSD, is I meet with the director of the office monthly with her team, and we talk about trends that are in the community. Semesterly, I'll have walkthroughs with our student leaders in the house, so our house managers and members of the CFSD staff will come and walk with us. My RAs just help manage with duty and community building, so I do a lot of work with them to ensure that they feel supported as student leaders in their organization, as well as making sure that they are maintaining the spaces that work. Lastly, I make sure that if there's any events that are happening with our partners in CFSD, whether it's community-wide programming with all organizations on campus. I'm made aware of it for our community. I sometimes help with some programming, as well as making sure that if there are organizations having events inside houses, that I'm aware of what's happening in our community and ensuring that all of our policies are followed. So my supervisor and I have a fantastic relationship. We've built that relationship based off of trust and communication. She has an understanding of what I do as a hall director working in a very specific area that's a special interest community. So she makes sure to support my hopes and dreams, not just as being a hall director from 9 to 5, but also my aspirations and wanting to advance my career someday. And she makes sure that I'm also balancing what I need to do, so I'm not too overwhelmed if there's a lot going on in the community. So with the RLM in Husky Village, it looks slightly different than other communities due to the extensive programming and community that is already built within the individual chapters that live in Husky Village. I will say what's really successful about Husky Village is the engagement that we have in one-on-one settings. My residents are really highly engaged in getting to know all the RAs in the community, so we have a high turnout in resident conversations and people building that sense of community and camaraderie. My RAs send out newsletters when other RAs are putting up bulletin boards and being creative in their halls. We just do it electronically. A lot of the larger programming that my students participate in really comes from the CFSD office, so our Fraternity Sorority Life professionals and students, so most of that programming and engagement is a partnership between the two of us. When it comes to DEIB as a hall director, there are a few different facets that I make sure to go and accomplish. So the first thing would making sure that my RA staff have the opportunity to not only take part in DEIB conversations, but facilitate their own dialogue. My staff this semester have done international student support, DEI in dance, gender in film. So it's something that they're interested in and they're willing to go and facilitate. So they're able to go and engage, but also take part in leading conversation. For my students, I make sure that I'm including DEI topics for them to be knowledgeable about. So for the month of February, I made sure to include information about NPHC, the National Pan-Hellenic Council, as all of my students are affiliated with predominantly and historically white organizations within Husky Village. I want to make sure that we're highlighting the work that our students who are in NPHC organizations, so historically Black fraternities and sororities, are doing, and promoting Black excellence within our community. So living at Storrs is a different experience, as we're in a rural area. Like, I live across the street from a farm and from the cows. It's great because they make great ice cream, but that also means that it gives us an opportunity to leave the area to go and experience new things and different things and not stay where we work all the time. So I know for me this weekend, I'm going to New York to go and see a Broadway show. But I also know I can take trips to Massachusetts when I'd like to go and see friends. So there's a lot of opportunities to go and explore around and engage in the New England culture and life outside of just Storrs, Connecticut. So one of my favorite things about UConn is the opportunity for professional development. So as a hall director, I'm allowed to have the opportunity of being involved professionally outside of just UConn. So I've been involved in Yakuho since I started at UConn 4 years ago, and they've given me the opportunity to attend a lot of different events, whether they're virtual, in person, but I also know that it's not just exclusive to NUCUHO. I have colleagues and friends who go to NASPA annual or go to ACPA or participate in even outside of those two organizations. So if folks also want to go to a Kuwai, we're given the opportunity, the funding, and the time to go and support those dreams and to build our professional network outside of just UConn. Advice I would give to a new hall director at UConn would be to take time to ask questions and learn more about the department. I think the best way to learn about what we're doing is taking part in it. I find that we do things very intentionally, so it's really important that you're aware of what is happening, but also in the future, once you go through a year, asking more of those intentional questions of why something is happening. And I think your first step to that is understanding the current process. Thanks for coming to the day in the life of a hall director. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and good luck on your interview process. Go Huskies!